Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Weed, California. That's really the name of this town, and I'm in the shadow of Mount Shasta. And I have to tell you, you're going to see the prettiest scenery of the trip in today's road trip footage. So be sure to watch it to the very end. It's just gorgeous. I'm again at the Motel 6, as you can see from the orange paint scheme. There must have been a fire sale on orange paint because apparently all of the Motel 6s are painted with this lovely color. I hadn't planned to stay in a Motel 6 tonight. I know this. I'm feeling rather much like a sissy, staying in all these hotels. I had planned to stay at a campsite in the Lassen National Forest, but I got about 6,000 feet up, and no kidding, it was just freezing. I know you've heard a lot in the news about some sort of heat wave out here in California. That may be true down in the valleys, but it's not true up in the mountains. And it wasn't even that particularly high. I mean, it was only 5 or 6,000 feet, but I literally could not feel my hands. It was getting so cold. And not to mention that the gas stations were disappearing, and I didn't have a good feeling about it. I tried to follow my gut on this trip, so I wound up turning the bike around. I went some 50 miles in that direction and decided to come back, so I added 100 miles to my trip yesterday and got in rather late. So it was a bit of a weary day, but I think I made the right decision. And I did come a different route and get to see this beautiful country around Mount Shasta. I also saw something on the way out of Lassen National Forest, and that is a bobcat. One ran across my path, and you don't ordinarily see those animals because they're nocturnal. In fact, today's road trip song is dedicated to the bobcat who just sort of very nonchalantly walked across the road ahead of me on his way to the other side of the forest. I guess he had some errand over there. Beautiful animal. But this is the land of the big animals, the big game here. Cougars, mountain lions, bears, big bears. And this is also territory you may recognize from a book written by a woman named Cheryl Strayed. Wrote a book called Wild. She was, I think, a recovering addict who walked the Pacific Crest Trail, which runs right through here. So some of you might be familiar with that. But it's just stunning country, and I think the footage will bear that out. I have. I had an interesting experience yesterday on Alice. My children will tell you that I'm the most boring driver, highway driver on the planet. And they always hated when I would drive on long family trips because I would just stay in the right lane and drive the speed limit. And I'm pretty much the same way on a motorcycle. But a motorcycle is a little different because you have to stay out of the way of big trucks and you can't get boxed in. And so there are times when you really have to, hit the juice with the motorcycle. And yesterday on Alice, I was on this freeway. I think it's 80 going north, and was boxed in by a lot of big trucks and some other traffic on the other side. And I had to get out of there, and I just opened the throttle. And of course, Alice hiked up her skirt and ran. And it was only a few seconds, but I looked down at the speedometer, and she was kissing 100 miles an hour, and without a vibration. And I'm pretty sure she asked me for a cup of tea on the way. Just smooth as silk. And so it got me out of danger, and I got back into the proper lane and slowed down. And that's, I'm not a fast driver, and I don't want my sisters to worry about me. I don't do that all the time. But the one thing I won't let happen is anybody bully Alice or, box her in. So I got her out of danger, and I was just amazed at how smooth she was at that high of a speed. I had no idea I was going that fast. But it gave me a thought about some future plans for this trip. I've been thinking about stopping by the Bonneville Salt Flats, and one of the favorite movies I have of all time is Anthony Hopkins starring in The World's Fastest Indian. If you haven't watched it, you really ought to take a look. It's a great movie for old men and dreamers to watch because Hopkins plays the part of Burt Munro, who was a Kiwi who set the world land speed record for motorcycles under 1,000 cc's on his 1920 Indian Scout in 1967 when he was, or I think he was 67 years old, and not in the peak of health. And Hopkins plays the part brilliantly. But I thought I might take Alice, since she's so steady and comfortable at such a high speed, which you're really not supposed to do on highways. I thought I might take her to the Bonneville Salt Flats and give her a go and see what she's capable of. If you're not familiar with that part of the country, it's an ancient lake bed that has dried up over millions of years and formed into a perfectly flat salt plain that goes for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, and they've turned it into a speedway, and you can get on it and go absolutely as fast as you like. There's nothing to run into, and it's perfectly level. And that's where Burt Munro came in '67 and set the world land speed record, and the Bonneville Speedway is still there. And apparently they have a program where you can pay a couple $100 and have your bike officially tested. So I was thinking I might set the world record for the world's fastest Royal. At last, my final shot at aristocracy in Britain on a British bike to ride the world's fastest Royal. I'm sure I can set some sort of a record, for men named Michael on odd-numbered Thursdays in August or something. The fastest Royal Enfield to be ridden at that time. Get a picture taken with Alice, have it framed, and send it to the Queen or the Princess Royal and see if she might sign it and send me a congratulatory note. So I want to hear from all you Brits. What do you think the likelihood is that would ever happen? Not the photo, but the autograph from a member of the royal family. Probably not, but I may give it a go. Anyway. I'm spending my last day in California today before I move into Oregon. I'm headed for the Lost Creek Campground somewhere in an unpronounceable national forest in Oregon tonight. And then I'll be cruising into Redmond for a stay of a few weeks for rest and relaxation before I head into the really wild country of Montana and Wyoming and points unknown. So God bless you, and thank you for following my journey, and I will see you next time.
Mr. Munro.
Hello. So, what's the story, Doc?
I'm sorry, it's not good news.
Oh, yeah? Well, far away.
You've had an attack of angina.
Oh, yeah?
You have arteriosclerosis.
Oh, what's that?
It's a narrowing of the arteries from the heart.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I'm afraid there's not too much we can do for you at your age other than suggesting you take it easy.
Oh, yeah?
Look, if you have another attack, pop one of these under your tongue, let it dissolve, and then swallow the saliva. The pain should be gone in 30 seconds.
Yeah, what do you call these things?
Trinitrate pills.
Yeah?
Better known as nitroglycerine.
Oh, yeah? Stuff you blow things up with.
Yes, but in much smaller quantities.
Yeah, all right. Will this have any effect on me riding my bike?
Unfortunately, I think your motorcycling days are over.
Like hell they are.
After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. After midnight, we're gonna chuck a love and shout. Hey, we gonna cause talk and suspicion, give an exhibition. We're gonna find out what it is all about. After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. After midnight, wanna shake your tambourine. After midnight, gonna be peaches and cream. We're gonna cause talk and suspicion, leave an exhibition. We're gonna find out what it is all about. After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. Suspicion, give an exhibition. We're gonna find out what it is all about. After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. I see. After midnight,